Oh, thunder. My end.
Your back end.
We started.
Hello and welcome to Jukebox Judgement with me, Dawn Parry, here on newdawn.fm. Now, this is no ordinary Jukebox Judgement. This is the AXEAN Jukebox Judgement, and in this instance, it's the full festival highlights of all of artists from around this part of the world, the part of the world that I actually live in as well. So it covers most of Asia, Southeast Asia certainly, and the Pacific, and parts of Australia and so on. Chaps, I'm going to say, first of all, let's say hello to each of you. Steve Lillywhite, we've got Phill Brown, we have Steve James. No, I should say Steve Lillywhite is in Bali. Phill Brown representing UK and the area there. Steve James, Australia. Barry Upton in where are you?
Thailand.
In Thailand, and Luke Mornay in Brussels, representing Europe. Now, chaps, how are you all? Steve, how are you today?
I'm very well, thanks, Dawn. Good to see you. Good to see the guys. Looking forward to some good quality music, which we always do get from the Southeast Asian countries. And maybe North Asian countries.
Absolutely.
If it's Japan as well. Yeah. No, I'm excited for the show.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be a goodie. I just know it. Phill Brown.
Yes, good morning. Hi, Dawn. Hi, guys. Yep, looking forward to it. And yeah, let's get going.
Absolutely. Steve James, hello.
Good afternoon, good morning to all. We must include New Zealand, of course, as well, which is also, they get upset if we don't include Australasia.
Absolutely. And we do have New Zealand artists constantly sending things in to us here, which is all very exciting. Thank you, Steve James. Barry Upton, hello.
Yeah, here from Pattaya in Thailand, which is strategically placed right in the centre of Southeast Asia. So music from all around me.
Wonderful. And Luke Mornay coming in from Brussels. Hello.
Yeah, I hope you guys are all good. Here from Brussels, everything's fine. So it's always nice to get connected to this side of the other side of the world. So I'm really looking forward to some fantastic music.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Well, to everybody out there, everybody listening, all of you wonderful record producers, welcome to the Jukebox Judgement AXEAN Highlights Special. As you know, Jukebox Judgement partnered with the AXEAN Festival back in 2024 to bring a series of Southeast Asia special shows, which we did, and we continue to do. And anyway, so this time we're changing the format today because what we have is we've got our A&R representatives, Joe Eads and Baz Linders, who attended the AXEAN Festival in Bali in September 2025, representing New Dawn, and they have picked out the best. All the artists have sent them tracks. They picked out the best for us so that we have a show that encompasses other regional bands and artists that are performing in Southeast Asia, but cover the whole of the area of the region. So let's move on, because the very first artist we have is indeed from Japan, which is where I am broadcasting from and where I'm now living. She's called Kiwako Ashimine, and that's spelt Kiwako Ashimine, with her song Circus Lion. So let's go to it. Where did it go? Ha! Here we are. Sorry, it's just taking its time to even open the file now. Okay, this is Kiwako Ashimine.
It's time. Like a circus lion, fear is molding his beauty into a spearless trident. She's afraid of being different, he's afraid of being mediocre. No fear, I am here. Your beauty, the one and only. No fear. Now is the time. Let your beauty take shape. Let your beauty take wing. If you were a rose, you wouldn't bloom as a lily. If you were a jellyfish, you wouldn't drift in the sky. If you were a rose, you wouldn't bloom as a rose. If you were a jellyfish, you wouldn't drift in the ocean. What is your rift in the Go dance in the end, roar. 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 Dance in the end. When you are who you are, your beauty takes shape. When you are who you are, your beauty takes wave. If you were a rose, you wouldn't bloom as a lily. If you were a jellyfish, you wouldn't drift in the sky. If you were a rose, you wouldn't bloom as a lily. If you were a jellyfish, you wouldn't drift in the sky.
Kiwako Ashimine with her track Circus Lion. Okay, let's have a look here. So she is a singer, songwriter and producer from Okinawa in Japan, which is a beautiful island, actually. With a voice that lingers in the memory, it says here, an artistic sound that balances beauty and intensity, and commanding live performances. Kiwako Ashimine is an artist to watch as she continues to captivate audiences on a growing global stage. So, Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first, please?
Yeah, I thought she was very good. I thought she has a lovely voice, and just a couple of points. I felt that I was waiting for the song to get going. Mm-hmm. I was waiting for something I could sort of grab hold of in terms of like a hook. You know, it felt a little disjointed, and just when I thought it was going to kick off into something that had a really good beat that you could sort of feel a bit more, it then dropped back down again, which was very good. It was more of a late night track, I think, than a morning track, because yeah, it was just lacking a little bit in musical hooks and just rearranging some of the vocal parts. It was just a little confusing for me, but it was a great experience. It was a great experience. So, and maybe she could have sped it up a little bit. Might have helped just to give it a little bit more instant energy.
Okay, thank you
That would
very
be my-
much. I ought to also add, she looks fabulous as well. Really
Well,
fabulous.
I'm sure I can see that's sort of creative, artistic person just by hearing her music. I would be surprised if she was wearing dirty denims and a
Certainly
and
not that.
Converse. And Converse, yes, I would be surprised.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. Phill Brown.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, there's some great space, some really good sounds. I really like the production. I would agree with Steve in a way. It stopped and started just a little bit too much for me. I would love the second half to have really kind of kicked off. But yeah, I mean, lovely voice and yeah, great sounds, great space. So I enjoyed that. I was drifting away lovely.
Yeah, I must admit, I was as well. I loved it. Thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. Steve James.
Beautiful. As soon as the vocal came in, I went, "Oh, that's lovely, really lovely." I thought it was very interesting. I agree with Steve. It was a bit disjointed. The production was great. The programming was really good. But I'll get to another point. At times, I would have liked to have heard a few real instruments apart from everything being programmed. Particularly the drums would have been nice if that had been actually played as opposed to programmed. But that's just me being very fussy. But I thought that was excellent, lovely, and fresh. There was a freshness about it which I really enjoyed. Lovely. But disjoint, I did find it difficult to find anything to hang on to. I agree with Steve about that, but.
Okay.
Great
Thank you.
So lovely.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I always love tracks that conjure up pictures. I can imagine a great video to that, and as you say, she looks great. I'm sure a fabulous video going along with it would be wonderful. Like the others, I felt that it was okay up to a point when the stop-starting thing, but halfway through she needed that Phil Collins in the air tonight, big drums coming in, and then right to the end and making a big crescendo at the end. That would have made it really, really good. But no, a great start to the show, and I'm sure it would be great to see the video if she has got a video.
I don't yet know. All I know is we have the audio for this show. Thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, it was great. I love the precision in the production. It felt really precise and really intentional, which was great. Like Steve, I would have loved, let's say, some sort of drive at some point, you know, to really drive the track, you know, to something else. I also enjoyed the, let's say, the Bjork touch, you know, from the Medulla album, which is really something like that. So I think maybe it's part of the inspiration. But overall, it was really well produced, and just the drive was missing. So maybe this should be something to consider if the track had to be revised.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. And I have to admit, I actually rather like it. And I know, Steve Lillywhite, you mentioned maybe it's a night track. I've got to admit, though, because it's got a sort of performance value to it, I would happily play it on my radio show, you know, breakfast time in the mornings, which is all sorts of times a day everywhere else in the world, as we know. Okay. Yes. So Kiwako Ashimine with Circus Lion. Lovely. Well done there. Let's move on to the next artist we have here. The next one is, one second, is called, now I have to watch my pronunciation here. It's the second band. They are from Vietnam, called NGHICH, which is NGHICH. NGHICH. Yeah. NGHICH, I think it is. With their song Bao Gio Buon Thai Ng Bay Nay. I might. Okay, well, NGHICH is the name of the band. So let's play their track. So it is Bao Jiu Buon Tai Nga Bei Nei. That is NGHICH with Bao Jiu Buon Tai Bei Nei. Right, I got there. Somehow I got there. Okay, let's have a look here. Now, they formed in 2022, and NGHICH are a pop band and alternative rock band from Hanoi. And they are shaking up the Vietnamese and the Asian indie scene with very youthful swagger. They are a 5-piece band from the image I can see here. And they've got a very playful spirit about them and quite a high energy band. So, Phill Brown, would you like to go first, please?
Indeed. Yes, well, great energy. I enjoyed the energy. My negative side, I suppose, is that it felt as if the mix was just kind of all inverted. You know, the bass drum was so loud, guitars were quite quiet. So I'd love to hear a different mix, but I did like the energy and I was kind of enjoying the vibe. But the mix just wasn't quite right for me personally.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. What would be your suggestions on it, do you think?
Well, I mean, I'd like the guitars, you know, everything apart from the bass drum to be louder, I suppose. It did seem weird to have the bass drum so loud, and then everything else was kind of sitting in a different space. So, yeah, just a more focused mix, or the kind of mix I would like to have. But it was good. I mean, the energy was great. Okay,
thank you very much for that. Steve James.
Yeah, well, I'm listening to it on quite a big system here. It lacks bottom end, really. I mean, the energy's lovely. She's got a cute voice, and the melody was nice as well. I enjoyed that, but the actual mix itself was, I would agree with Phill, it was a bit strange, and it lacked weight, really. Bottom end was not there at all, unfortunately. And also, my comment would be to slow the track down a bit. It was just a bit too quick, I thought. Just a little bit too frenetic. Maybe slow it down a bit, maybe get a bit more groove into the backing track, which was lacking at times as well, I thought. But lovely voice, good melody. And I agree with Phill. A remix would be a good call. But lovely, great energy, as I said. But
and
slow it down.
And quite a nice hook in there. It's still going around in my head.
The hook's great.
Thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Well, Vietnam is becoming a very popular place to go to, and I will be going there probably in the next couple of months. And if that band was on, I would love to go and see them because they seemed like a lot of fun. I agree with the other guys about the mix. It could be a little bit harder, but there was a lot of fun pop melodic stuff in there. And when you go and see a band, if they're that melodic, then I think that accounts for a lot. And I think that even though I didn't understand the lyrics, I understood Saigon in there somewhere. But it sounded good, and the phrasing sounded good as well. So I don't agree with Steve James. I think that it was the right tempo. I like that tempo. I was nodding along like a good one.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Well, again, this is the thing with music, isn't it? I'm always saying it's completely subjective. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, really energetic. I love the energy in the track. I just wanted a bit more contrast, because it felt like it was like a running train, so maybe more, let's say, textures could come to spice up the track a little bit and have more contrast in the track would be great. And also the breaks when during the breaks they were welcome, to break that sort of monotony, in the track at some point. So I think there'd have been more breaks, a bit more contrast in the track. But the production was good and the energy was nice as well. So just a matter of bringing new sounds to make the experience more interesting.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Luke, can I ask that you speak up a little bit when we come around the next time around? It's a bit quiet by comparison to the others. Thank you very much. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, well, what everyone else has said, really. The energy was really good. In terms of the mix and the balance, I think maybe what some of the guys are saying, for me, it feels like that the drums, if the drums had more air in the sound of the drums, it was very close mic'd and they were very loud. If you had imagine a pair of faders, because I couldn't really hear the cymbals. All I heard was a really sort of clicky. So I would have tried to give a little more air around the drum kit to make it sound a bit more like a drum kit, And and with hopefully not sounding too much like a politician, I agree with both Steve James and Barry Upton. I would like to hear it a little bit slower, but I also enjoyed it at the tempo at which it was presented.
When can I vote for you?
No, I agree. I agree with both of them because when Steve said, and I went, oh, it's one of those things in the studio you don't know until you've really heard it, So you'd say to them, let's just give us another take, a couple of BPM slower, just to see whether there's a road you go down. I mean, it probably wasn't recorded in a great studio, and I think that's a problem. But sometimes, I have often said I've made the best records in the worst studios and the worst records in the best studios. So sometimes that doesn't matter. If you have a really good vibe in there, sometimes you can just get this little piece of magic in the studio. But well done. I mean, as Barry also said, I would go and see them live if they were playing around the. you know, because it was great melody, good singer, good.
Fun, exciting sound, lots of energy.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a track I'd happily play on my breakfast show as well. A little bit tricky with, I suppose, on the language side, but again, music transcends that. The energy it brings, it's fantastic. Thank you very much for that. NGHICH from, where did we say it was from? Hanoi. Okay, let's move on to the third band that we have here. The third band is from Bali in Indonesia. And they are called, yes, Steve Lillywhite putting a thumbs up there. They are called Morbid Monke, as in Monke, with their song When I Feel Alive. So let's have a listen. This is Morbid Monke with their song When I Feel Alive. Morbid Monke, and that track is called When I Feel Alive. And they are, right, now they're described as a band. As I said, they're from Indonesia, from Bali in Indonesia, and they are not for the faint-hearted, apparently. Unintended for or unsuitably ordinary ears, either. So, too weird to live, they say. Too rare to die. It feels tribal, but eventually contemporized through a strange art post-punk composition, blending exploratory experiments of pseudo-jazz, trumpet blasts, psychedelic noise dissonance from the form of sneaky guitar licks, and vocals that sound like delirious chants. Oh, gosh, that was tricky to read, actually. If you're into off-key guitar chords, nerdy rock sounds, awkward but witty dance moves, like a seizure-struck monkey, then Morbid Monke is the punk band you need to consume, apparently. Okay. Steve James, would you like to go first, please?
Well, of course, I love that.
Obs.
It's out there. Well, have they been listening to Captain Beefheart? Maybe. A lot of that offbeat stuff, which I'm a big fan of all of that. I mean, I thought it was great. I'd love to have a quick mix would be nice to actually have a look at, but everything about it I thoroughly enjoyed because it was so wonderfully anarchic. Great, loved it. I'd like to hear more. It's right up my alley.
Now, I love the fact, thank you very much for that, Steve James. I love the fact that our A&R reps over in Southeast Asia actually, picked up on these and thought, hey, yes, they're quirky and so on. And it's not necessarily commercial style radio stuff, but the fact that Joe Eads and Baz Linders both thought, yes, these guys they've got something, let's put them forward. So thank you for that.
Also, just quickly, there's a Primus thing going on there as well a little bit. They've obviously listened to their left of centre bands a lot, which is great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Good fun.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Well, I have to completely disagree with Steve James because whereas the last band I would love to go and watch, this band I would probably go in the other direction and make sure I didn't go and see, because for me it was just too chaotic. It was just that there was nothing in there that I could really that really got me going or made me want to listen to more. I understand they're being experimental chicken oriental, but it's just not for me. It was just a mishmash of a lot of different things. The drums didn't really grab me right from the very beginning. It didn't grab me, so I'm sorry about that, but that's not up my street.
Okay, well that's okay. Thank you very much for that. Luke Mornay.
No, I will disagree with Barry.
Okay.
That's a band I would like to see live. It's an experiment on stage and also as part of the audience. Because it's some sort of audio LSD.
Yes, that's true.
But lost in music and stuff. So that could be fun to see them live. It's an experience, so you can't really, let's say, pinpoint some things to fix, or it's part of it's a jam, it's a vibe, so you can't really fix that. Personally, I loved it. The mixture of brass and the jazz and rock and dissonance. I really like this kind of mixture. So well done.
Thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
I really loved it. And I have a little connection to this band as well, funnily enough, because, when the name was mentioned to me, I went, hang on. And I had to double check on my phone, but one of the guys who works with the architect for my house, who is one of the most humblest young guys with long hair like this, said to me, Steve, would you listen to our band, please? And so I've heard this before, and this was not my favorite song. And I'll send Steve James. They have another song called "Loser Dog Go," which was my favorite song. But this guy I know who is so humble and so lovely. He so I gave some critique, and I thought, great. He also plays the brass and the bass player, I think. So what I loved about, if it was just electric instruments, it wouldn't be as good as it was. But because you had the brass in there, it was quite musical to me in that sort of weird way. I mean, I felt a lot of music. There was a lot of music in there, in its own way. So it was lovely, and I heartily like that. I like the fact that I was going to go and see them, but I couldn't the other day, actually. So I'm going to make a point of going to see a gig at some point.
Wonderful.
But no, very, very good, yeah.
And Steve, when you do, please let us know of what the experience is actually like, because I imagine they're really great live. And it's a little bit as though they've snuck Thelonious Monk in on speed or something. There's a touch of all of that in there. It's wonderful. Thank you. Phill Brown.
Yeah, well, they obviously like Frank Zappa too. Yes, well, I mean, not really for me. Lots of musical things, but all sounding like they're coming from completely different tracks. So yeah, I found it all a bit disjointed, to be honest with you. It's probably not my kind of thing, if I'm honest. But well done for being adventurous and pushing the boundary. But it's not something I would really put on and listen to very often, to be honest with you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. Well, it may not be something that some people would put on and listen to per se, but it sounds very much as though they are definitely a band that provide an experience to go and watch. So let's move on to the next artist. Next, we have, I think it's called Simile Land. Simile Land, with their song Universe Party. And they are from South Korea. That was Simile Land with Universe Party. And let's have a look here. Their strapline is "We Wanna Make You Smile." They're from South Korea and they formed in 2023, November 2023. Simile Land are a 5-piece band. On stage, Simile Land perform like musicians possessed, delivering explosive energy that captivates every audience. As one of the most talked about bands in Korea's indie scene today, they channel diverse influences into a distinctive sound full of groove, emotion, and playfulness. And they look cute too. So, Barry Upton, I think it is first this time, please.
I really like that, and I was imagining the electric violinists, running about the stage and being very theatrical. So it's funny that you should say that they're very active on stage. I liked it. The fact that you couldn't understand the lyrics. It was not a disadvantage and the fact that it was so low in the mix, it was more like an instrument. I think if you're singing in Korean and you know that the rest of the world is not really going to understand your lyrics, then make your voice like an instrument. And I thought it blended in very, very well. I enjoyed that, and they did make me smile.
Okay, I thought it was in English. Maybe not then. I'm pretty sure it was in English.
I didn't understand the lyrics then.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. But yes, I mean, you're quite right. It's quite hypnotic in its repetition as well of the melody line, the hook there. Thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Luc Mornay.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved at some point you can hear that they have the video games culture, and the way it was built and some video games, the harmonics, etc. were great. At some point I would have shifted the music a little bit, down just to bring some variation in the track, and then go back up. That would have been fun,
Yes.
to keep the interest. But everything was working. It was really hypnotic, so it was really well done, and should be interesting to see them live as well.
Indeed. Okay, thank you very. Oh, sorry.
Like at this point, anyway, for me, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luc Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, well, it's a two-chord song, and it's fantastic for that. Dun 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 dun. There's a million songs with those two chords, and this is one of the good ones actually. It's especially at the end when it kept going on that bass line. It was such a great sound, filling the whole. The whole speakers. I mean, it was pumping, and it was a good mix. It was probably the best sounding song we've had so far, bar the first one, which also sounded pretty good. But it's more difficult when there is less space in the music for it to sound good. The first song had a lot of space, so there was a reason why it sounded good. This one had no space for a lot of the song, but it didn't matter. They managed to balance it very well. All the sounds were pretty good hooks as well. You had the bass hook, you had very good hooks. The vocal was, as Barry so rightly said, it was no more important than the rest of the instruments, and that was all part of the overall sort of attraction of it. Yeah, very good, very good. I mean, maybe more of a club song than a radio song, but it certainly did not sound wrong to be on the radio. Loved it.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. Phill Brown.
Yeah, no, I also enjoyed it. I mean, it did make me smile. If it was in English, I would love the voice to have been a little louder so I could have understood what it was about. But some great sounds. Like the first track, it's probably one of the better produced records that we've heard. So yeah, nothing to really fault. I enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. And Steve James.
I also loved it. I would have taken some things out at times because it was full on. The syncopation was full on. Craftwork, it's almost like. Are they? Where they're from? South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah, the South Korean craftwork. Interesting. I loved it. I thought it was great. I would have just taken a few things out at times just to point things out after a while because it became a little bit of a melange for me, too much going on at times, but really cool. I would have liked to have heard the vocal up if it was, if there was. I understand the fact it's an instrument, but what was it important what he said or not important? But cool. I love the solo. That was great. I would have just taken a few things out at times. That's all, just to build it, just to make it a bit more interesting, particularly rhythmically, because everything was pretty well covered.
Okay, thank you. Well, lovely. Thank you very much for that, Steve James. I rather liked it. I liked its hook. I liked the fact that it was just so repetitive. It was a lovely speed as well, lovely pace. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Well done, Simile Land. I will play that track on my breakfast show, and I will distribute it to other people who have shows on newdawn.fm. That is Universe Party, the name of the track, Simile Land, the name of the band, and they are from South Korea. So, band number 5 we have. This is Dongker with Jason Ranti. And the track, hang on a second, let me just move down here, read it from here. So this is Dongker, Dongker, with Jason Ranti, Ranti, with their track, Salah Display.
Cek kebudayaan, cek.
Salah kemasan seni rupa penuh dengan jebakan. 3 hari sudah aku tak makan, ku kubur dendam di kebun belakang. Ada pertanyaan di selangkangan, ku butuh jawaban. Di mana jawaban? Kapan jawaban? Adakah jawaban? Semua terlanjur dipamerkan. Jim, 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 supangkat. 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 Masa seni diciptakan, seni dihancurkan, seni di kepala sendiri. Gejala estetik, gejala mesintik, gejala rohani, gejala kejiwaan. Logika bukan mesin komputer, logika bukan di seni. Akan sebebasnya seni hanyalah dari hati. Jim, 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 supangkat. Jim, 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 supangkat. Jim, 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 supangkat. Jim, 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 supangkat.
Wow. That was Dongker with Jason Ranti, and the track was called Salah Display. That's Salah Display, which I think, I've got a feeling, does that mean the same as salam? Can somebody tell me? Because I've got a feeling.
Where are they from?
Right, I'm just about to tell you all of that now.
Oh, okay.
They are from Bandung in Indonesia, and rooted in an arts education background and personal experiences in Bandung, Dongker and Jason Ranti came together to create a collaborative album entitled I Don't Know and I Dongker, as in Dongker. I don't know, and I Dongker because he's Dongker.
German.
And across 9 tracks, the album explores their romanticism towards visual art and the city of Bandung through perspectives that are critical, personal, and uniquely their own. So let's see. Now, next, or first, I should say this time, is Luke Mornay. Luke, would you like to give your comments, please?
The energy was great. I'm not sure about the mix, if I have to be honest. It felt a bit distorted at times and not really nice, but the energy was great. The whole band was great, and the singer was great as well. So I think it's just a matter of mix for me, you know, to make it more enjoyable. It was a bit too aggressive, I felt.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, it was very trebly. Actually, it was quite harsh on the sound, but it had this sort of wonderful. And I know a little bit about Indonesian indie music, and they take a lot from 50s and 60s surf music, and there was a lot. There was actually, you know, there's some great videos of 60s Indonesian bands who were doing the sort of surf thing at the same time as it was happening in America. It was very weird, you know. I mean, I don't think it was presented in the right way. I mean, it's almost like if it had a remix and a rethink, it could have been like a B-52s type song.
Yes.
You know, it had that sort of thing. I mean, it had the quirky elements to it, but it was just a little bit difficult. It wasn't presented in exactly the way that it could have been presented, but there were some great ideas in there, and the same 2 chords as the previous song. So
that's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing how you can do stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. It was also noticeable in parts of that. There were little hints of Austin Powers type music going on as well.
Thing.
Yeah, exactly, which was great to hear. Phill Brown.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I like the energy, and what was the other thing I was going to say? Energy good, a good hook. I agree that it's a bit trebly and the mix could be improved, but overall I was kind of enjoying it. I like the energy, and it sounds like a band, so that's a bonus these days.
Indeed. And ironically, this is the band that was talking about the album that they decided to put together. But obviously they do go out and perform as well. Otherwise, our A&R guys wouldn't have spotted them. So there we go. They can obviously do both, which is great. Thank you for that, Phill Brown. Steve James.
Loved it. I mean, I've written B-52s down here. I've also written surf music. We've done the same. I agree. The mix it was an issue. A little bit too much reverb, which is possibly why it was a bit brittle. Because when cymbals go into reverb like that, it can be an issue, as we all know here. But I thought that was a great energy, great hook. A remix would be good, and I'd love to see. Are they young chaps?
They are young chaps, and one in particular is extraordinarily quirky. They look rather good. One seems to have made a particularly unusual looking face mask. I'll pop a picture across.
but that was great. I loved it, Dawn. I thought it was great. I agree with all the chaps that it does need a mix, but it was fun, good hook, and great energy. Good, well done.
Okay, well, look, I've just taken a picture here, as you can hear it going pop. I will send this across into our group so that you get the chance to see it, if I can find it here. Because, they are quite quirky, and it's always a pleasure for us, I think, to be able to see quite how quirky, to get a sort of a slight insight into the music that comes out of people. So I've popped that onto our judgment group for you all, chaps.
That is unusual.
I love unusual. I love unusual as well when it's pretending to be absolutely the norm, and then you realise, you find they're like an onion. You peel away, there's another layer and another layer. Anyway, thank you for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Yeah, very much enjoyed it. I would have loved to have heard English lyrics on it because it'd been interesting to know exactly what they were singing about. But it was a fun. I picked up on that kind of 60s vibe. I didn't. Well, actually, when Steve Lillywhite said it was surf, yeah, I suddenly thought, oh yes, that's the 60s thing that I was picking up on, and. I've always loved that kind of surf sound, so that's probably why I was enjoying it. But the singer over the top of it, okay, he's very theatrical, and I'm sure he's actually singing some very great lyrics. Even though we can't understand them, it sounded like they should be good lyrics.
But millions of people in Indonesia can understand them, which is great.
There you go.
And we enjoyed the actual musical side of it, the musicality, which is also super duper. Love it. Thank you very much for that, Dongker, with Jason Ranti. And I love the name of your album, guys. I just think that is brilliant. I don't know and I don't care. It's just excellent. I just love that. Well done. Okay, let's move on to the next band. This is band number 6, or artist number 6. This one is a band. They are called Cvptain Morgans, but it's Cvptain Morgans. And their track is Black Widow Lady. Ooh. It all sounds fun, doesn't it? Okay, let's have a look. Where's the files gone? There we go. Cvptain Morgans with Black Widow Lady.
I didn't know you were alive. You're gonna trick me, you're gonna. Now I know you're alive. A black widow lady to kill you.
It has actually finished that time. Okay, that was Captain Morgan's Black Widow Lady. Well, I certainly started dancing around to that one. Now let's have a little look at where they're from. So they are the sixth band, and they are from Thailand, formed by Morgan, who's on vocal and guitarist, his vocals and guitarist, and Pipers, the drummer. Captain Morgan's is a two-piece rock band with a clear musical direction, blending the core spirit of rock with influences from punk, metal and grunge. Captain Morgan's deliver a distinctive and uncompromising live experience that sets them apart, connecting directly with the audience through their unique sound and stage presence. And they are male and female. There we go. So Steve Lillywhite, it's your turn to go first again now.
I think we've done the circle, and we're back at the beginning
and we're
again.
Back at the beginning.
Well, it probably wasn't a song that really got to me, but it did, for me, have possibly the best drum sound of anything I've heard in the last 6 months. And
Really?
I'm telling you the part underneath the dum da 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 dum da da. The drum sound on that section was absolutely amazing. I was just sitting here going, I love exactly, for me, that's exactly the sound that I was always aiming for back in the day. And they absolutely nailed it. It was fantastic. It was really, really great. It was a little posturing for me. I would have liked to have felt a little more grace in the performance, but other than that, it had a good energy and great. Just a little more feminine energy I would have liked to have in it. It's a little too masculine for my liking. I would have liked a little bit more feminine in there. But to be honest, another good quality song. Well done, and the best drum sound I've heard for a long time.
Thank you very much for that, Steve Lee. I have to say, we both looked up at that point, didn't we? And we just went, wow, this bit's really good. Fantastic. Thank you. Phill Brown.
Yeah, no, I also enjoyed it. It's a great guitar riff. I would have liked more air around things. I think it felt very, well, I guess it's what Steve said as well, but it felt compressed and lacking in air. But, and I'm not sure that there's a great hook there, but I did enjoy it. The energy was good, and I think they'd be great to see live if they, add some more members than the two of them to do it. But I can imagine live they're very good.
Well, to be honest, the band Voodoo Radio?
Yeah.
They are a two-piece, and they have the fullest, biggest sound, and they don't use backing tracks. And it's one person on guitar. She plays drums live and sings all at the same time, and the sound is phenomenal. So it's possible to do and sound fantastic. Yeah, I don't know how they manage it, but they do.
Excellent.
So it could be that these two do that. Yeah, and it does say Captain Morgan's deliver a distinctive and uncompromising live experience that sets them apart from other artists.
No, I can imagine live that would be very good, So I kind of enjoyed it, but yeah, just a bit more air for me.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. Steve James.
I didn't like the guitar sound. I'm sorry, and that's what got me. They were just too in your face at times, which made me lose the groove at the back. Yeah, it was okay. That didn't really get me off in a lot of ways. Really, the tuning on some of the vocals was a bit out, I thought. Too bitty again. The breakdowns were unnecessary, I thought. Yeah, it was all right. I'd like to see it live, to be honest, and also maybe just work on the song arrangement a bit more.
And what do you feel you would have done if you had your hands on that? What do you feel you would have done in order to give it a better form of continuity?
Well, listen to what they're all doing individually before they put it all together, I suppose. I don't know. There's two of them, so what's the bass doing? So is he playing bass as well, or is it just the bass coming from the guitar sound itself? I don't know either. It was okay. Arrangement-wise, there were too many breakdowns, and also I would have settled it down a bit more myself, but yeah, it was okay.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Well, there's a band here in Pattaya called Talung, and they sound exactly like that. And they're a two-piece as well. And the drummer just plays like Keith Moon, and the guitarist just has that kind of guitar sound which fills every frequency. And the singer just goes, singing like that. So, but they are funny to watch. They're great to watch, and it's a great, like it has been said, it's an experience, you know. But as far as musically, they're a little bit sort of lacking, and I didn't get anything musically from it at all. I actually quite like the guitar sound when it stopped and it just hung on for a while. I thought, oh, that's quite good, but it makes me laugh more than feel anything. So two pieces, they can make a noise.
Thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Luke Mornay.
Frankly, I love that band. What I loved is you feel that they have a complete control over time and space, because let's say the track was moving from side to side, you know, in different changing rhythm at all times, but you didn't feel it as a listener. But it was quite an exercise, I felt, on this track, if you pay attention to it. So I thought that was great. The song was not that great, but the technicality of the band was fantastic for me. As well as the sound and the control they have over the music was fantastic, I felt.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Okay,
so there's a great history, isn't there, of the White Stripes, of how they led the way for people to realize you could have two people and make a brilliant sound. And it was very good, very good.
Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. Right, now, let's move on to the next artist. So that was Captain Morgan's and the Black Widow Lady. Next up, we have there's a band from Tokyo in Japan, obviously, called BillyRom, BILLYRROM, with their track Once Upon a Night. Let's pop that on.
I just want to see the lights. I just want to be in the disco.
浮気にしないでよまるで飛んで響る夏の虫何も悔いはない
Oh, we couldn't keep still. Steve James and I were having a proper bopping session there. Woo! Oh, wonderful. That was, let's go back to all of this here. That was the wonderful BillyRom with Once Upon a Night, and they are from Tokyo in Japan. We don't need to even add the in Japan bit, do we? Their ever-evolving sound, dubbed Tokyo Transition Soul, embodies their progressive approach to music. BillyRom is forging boldly into a new era with their unstoppable momentum is one to watch. The band's name reflects their philosophy, inspired by the steadfast mindset of the beloved jazz pianist Bill Evans and the nomadic spirit of the Roma people, emphasizing their commitment to spreading their music across various places. Just count them up. They look really super cool, and they are a 6-piece band. There we go. So, starting this one off with Phill Brown, please.
No, I loved it. I mean, great sounds, great space, clarity, well produced. I mean, it was a kind of updated version of those kind of 70s funk. But lots to like. Nothing that I can really criticize. It's a great track.
Loads of energy. I've got to admit, I am an absolute sucker for a slap bass. Give me that sort of funky slap bass. Oh, I'm melting. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you for that, Phill Brown. Steve James.
I love the Steely Dan harmonies. I'm a sucker for that myself. You could hear Michael McDonald almost doing it. I thought that was great. Nice playing. Here we go again. Just slow it down a little bit. It was like a tiny bit too frenetic, just a little bit, but that's maybe just me. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Nice playing, as I said, maybe turn the vocal up a touch. Great vibe. And obviously they know what they're doing, these guys. Very good.
Absolutely. And they are very young as well, by the looks of it. They look terrific. Thank you. Sorry?
Great playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Yeah, really loved it. It was fun. It was just, you could tell, I could see you were, enjoying it. It was bringing smiles to our faces. What they've done is they've taken that kind of 70s funk thing with the slap bass and stuff, and they've quantized it to within a millimeter of its life. So they've kind of brought it into the 2026, and it sounds good. It really did sound good. And as Steve James said, the playing was fantastic. I really enjoyed the vocals as well, and it didn't matter again that you didn't know what the lyrics were, which usually that's what I'm usually focusing on. But musically, it was excellent, and I don't think it needs slowing down.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Well, I loved dancing to that. Thank you. Luke Mornay.
Then I will go with Steve James on that and against Barry.
Okay.
Yeah, technically it was perfect. The execution was great, but it felt a bit too fast to really appreciate let's say, the work they put into the sequencing of that. Because it was really, there were some fantastic bits there, but it was a bit too fast to really enjoy it. Even on the dance floor, I believe it's nice to listen to, but if you want to really feel what the intensity of the groove they put into that track, they need to slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry, Barry.
Well, I suppose it's whether you want to just groove to it and be all sexy, or just wiggle like crazy, like we just were just now.
It's really, really good. So if you slow it down, you really feel on top of let's say, the technicality, you really feel the groove,
Of course, I understand. Lovely.
I think it reflects life in Tokyo. Very fast-paced.
Frenetic. Thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
Well, am I going to go with Barry Upton or am I going to go with Steve and Luke?
Ooh.
And I'll tell you the reason I'm going with Steve and Luke is because I didn't feel it swung as well as it could have done. And just a little bit cooler, it could have swung a little bit more. Although Barry did put his finger on it, was quantized to within an inch of its life. And that, I think, was if it was a detriment to it, I think that was what it was. It had all the chic stuff and all that, just a little bit cooler, just a little slower, and it could have been, I think, a little bit better. But again, great playing. But sometimes, because you can play that fast, doesn't mean you should play that fast.
No, as you know, you were a frenetic bass player back in the punk days, I gather.
I was, and I think I probably made some records far too fast in my day. So it's a mistake that it's very easy to make at the time, But it just feels like it could have a little bit more hip swinging, and it could be really good. And again, I was thinking this. This is a band I'd love to see live because this sort of music, and they probably do it like that when they play it live. They were just a little bit uptight in the studio maybe and felt they had to make it perfect. But sometimes, great soul records are not completely perfect. It's a feel thing.
Of
Absolutely.
Course. Lovely. Thank you very much for that. Lovely explanation as well of things. Right. Now, so that was BillyRom with Once Upon a Night from Tokyo in Japan. Let's move on to our next artist we have here. This is artist number 8. And this is Johnny Mafia. They're a band. They're called Johnny Mafia. But this band is from France. And with their track, Rules, Balls, Bells. That was Johnny Mafia and the track Rules, Bulls, Bells. Now, they are a French punk rock band with a furious energy, catchy melodies, and infectious choruses. A mix of fun and pop sensibility hidden behind walls of guitars. They look very French as well, kind of lots of hair, and they look fun. Slightly anarchic around the edges. The band comes from the small city Sens or Saint in Burgundy in France. And the band like to say, we come from Saint, la capitale du monde. So that's Sens, the capital of the world. And they like to eat, and they loved the Indonesian food when they were at the AXEAN festival there. So let me see, whose turn is it next? It is, in fact, Steve James first, please.
Nirvana meets Weezer. I really heard a lot of Weezer in that. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, know much about them, but I'm a bit of a fan. It was good, well played, well mixed. I wasn't sure about the song though. I just thought the song didn't quite make it, unfortunately. The vocals were okay. It was nicely put together. It was well produced. The mix was great, etc., etc. It was quite derivative, as I say. The song didn't quite make it, unfortunately. That's for me. But I mean, I'd like to. That's development in progress. I'd love to. Are they young guys? Are they?
Yes, they are, and they are pretty young. They look pretty young. In fact, one looks particularly young. Yeah.
Well, there's development there, but there's something there absolutely brilliant. But it's not quite there song-wise, I didn't think. But most of it was really quite cool, I thought.
Okay, and I should say, right. I should add as well, though, that Steve James is on our panel here. He is one of the real kind of rock and roll or rock and metal bands that you've produced, haven't you? Go on, throw some names out. Yeah, particularly in Australia.
In Australia was the Screaming Jets, and I worked with Tori Wilcox, and I've worked with. I recorded the Jam a long time ago, and I worked with them quite a lot of rock bands in Australia, Skunk Hour as well, Cold Chisel in Australia, Mentlers, anything which aren't a rock band. But I work with bands, a lot of bands that play, and that was nearly there, but not quite.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Yeah, I agree. It's not quite there, but I'm a little bit more. I'll give it a little bit more than Steve is, but then I'm not really a rock producer, and I'm just listening to it as a radio record. I thought it was great. I really did. I thought that's the sort of thing that will wake you up in the morning, and you could sing along with it, even though, again, if you're not hearing the words that clearly. I thought it was a really good full sound, nice drum sound, and that's the second good drum sound we've heard today. But I like their name, Johnny Mafia. I like the feel of what they're doing, and I think that they've kind of almost got it. And I agree with Steve about the song not being great, but I'm not sure that it needed to be. It's just a sound that makes you feel good.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, I felt an opportunity was missed. During the first verse, they have a nice resolution, the way it's ending, the sentences are ended by the guitar. It's really nice. It's really surprising. And you don't find the same thing, the same feeling in the second verse, which is, I felt that the opportunity was missed there because I was expecting this with a full sound, but it wasn't there. That's the only thing. And also I felt that the hi-hats were open at the wrong time, Sometimes it was really annoying because it was always open. And at the end, it needed that this kind of opens, hi-hat too. And then the rest, they just disappeared, which it felt a bit weird. But it's a good band. You can feel that they know what they're doing, and they will get better over time, I believe. Even better.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
Well, the intro was, okay, this is good. And then each element that comes in made it better. And I think that was a really good thing, because quite often you hear a song and the very first thing you hear gets your ear, and then the second thing maybe improves it, and then they lose the plot, and then it doesn't get better, and all the little cracks start to appear in what you think about it. With this one, every time something came in at the front of the song, it was like, wow. And then and I love that sort of wobbly guitar sound they had. I got the Nirvana thing. I'm not such a fan of Weezer. But yeah, probably the song was the weakest part of it, but it still wasn't a bad song. I really liked that. I thought very well produced, very cleverly put together. To get that sound, to get the right balance between fuzzy and powerful, I think Parry has quite often said this. The guitar sound was perfect for me on that. Very good.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. Phill Brown.
Yeah, I mean, great dynamics. I had a great 3D effect for me in the mix. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Good energy. I would probably agree that the song isn't, the greatest, but it kind of worked. But I just love the overall vibe and the build of it. So yeah, enjoyable.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, that was Johnny Mafia and Rules, Bulls, Bells. And I think I'll be playing that on my breakfast show. I would love them to send me some other tracks of theirs, actually, and see if they've got a song in there that really, really works, because the overall sound is just great. Yep, they have lots of nodding coming from Steve James there. Okay.
And also, it was not too fast. and that can really help with sound as well. That's why the Sex Pistols records always sounded so good as a punk band, because they were the one punk band they were the slowest punk band around. Everyone else was going like that. Sex Pistols, very good. It helps for the sound if you get the tempo right.
Yes, yeah. And of course it allows you to digest what's going on in a song as well, which makes you want to enjoy it more. Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. And let's move on to the next artist. Now, if you recall, this is, we had One Click Straight. Do you remember One Click Straight from one of the, from the Philippines show that we did? So this band is from the Philippines, One Click Straight, with their track Telepono. And they are a 4-piece band. I'm just looking for my tracks here. So Telepono from One Click Straight.
Sa telepono, ang boses mo ang gustong marinig. Limutin ang mundong di nakikinig. 2:00, pasensya na, pupuyat na naman. At oras bang itigil ang kwentuhan? Imposible, di bali malipasan ng panahon. Ulit-ulit ang sasabihin, ikaw lang ang gustong kausap. Laging may aaminin at sasabihin na ikaw lang ang gustong kausap. Tulog pa ang mundo, sumisilip na ang araw sa dilim. Ang panaginip ko nakaibitin, 6:00, lumilipad at kahit saan pa mapunta, ikaw palagi ang una kung sasabihan ng mga bawat kwento at salita. Meron tayong wala sila. Wala sila, wala sila, wala sila nagagawa. Kahit paulit-ulit ang sasabihin, ikaw lang ang gustong kausap. Laging may aaminin at sasabihin na ikaw lang ang gustong kausap. Di sasayang mundo ay natin at ikaw lang ang gustong kausap. 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 Ikaw lang ang gustong kausap.
One Click Straight, and the track was called Telepono. Sorry, somebody's got a speaker on somewhere. Have you turned it off now? Okay, that wasn't me. It can't happen here. Okay, well, anyway, so Telepono, One Click Straight was the name of the band, and they are from the Philippines, as I said earlier. They are a Philippines-based band, well-versed in the fusion of multiple genres and sonics. They've created their own signature sound, defined by genre norms. This is a band we discovered at a small gig in Singapore. Now, this is what the chaps are saying. We enjoyed their performance, spoke to them and asked them to participate in the Jukebox Judgement Philippines special, which was, as you know, back in, which they went on to win in 2024. And since then, they've gone on to play at AXEAN 2025 in Bali and the Esplanade outdoor stage at Bay Beats in Singapore in 2025, which Barry and I, in fact, went to Bay Beats. If you recall, that was pretty out there. That was an unusual, very, very, very polite gigs. Where everybody sits down so neatly in rows. Anyway, they will be playing at Bangkok Music City in Thailand on the 24th and 25th of January 2026 as well. Now, they're a four-piece band, and they look great. A little bit quirky again. Love all that. So, whose turn is it to go first? Oh, Barry Upton's, is it? I believe.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling we saw One Click Straight. They seem familiar to me, but it's a good sound, a great sound. My only negative with them is that the guitar sounds like it's a keyboard. It's not actually a real guitar, and if it was a real guitar, it would sound great. I just don't think that that's the sound that they used was quite right. Having said that, generally, the sound was great. I love the drum sound. I love the snare sound. That was brilliant. And I like the overall feel of what they do. So, One Click Straight, I think you do have a future.
Thank you very much for that. Well, they've been gigging and doing all sorts. Thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Luc Mornay.
That was great. I just felt that they went too fast into the second verse because they have a really nice hook. And at the end of the chorus, it goes too fast into the second verse. And instead of fitting too much into that song, I would leave more space because that hook is really good, you know. The way it talks with the drums, the different part of guitars, you know. The talking between the instruments is really good. So I would leave more space into the song instead of fitting too much because there's a lot of information into that song, you know. That's what I would do, but the sound is good, the band is good, and the voice is great. So, well done.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luc Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, I liked it. I was thinking as it was going through, I would have loved to have heard the groove change to a straighter groove, because this dun 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 dun, dun it was too jerky, which was great at the beginning, but I felt like it was tiring on my listening to hear that exact same rhythm, you know, and they were all doing it, dun 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 dun, dun, you know, which is, you know, it didn't quite swing like a Lust for Life would do, which is a similar thing. I don't know. It was just, I would love them to have straightened out for a section or a verse to be a different scene. Like it seemed like they were performing a play and it was just scene one, and it felt like it could have changed a little bit as it was going through, and to keep the interest going, keep the song the same, but change what was in the background so it would keep your ears fresh on something different. Because once you heard that beat, you know, it was just relentless, and it could have been a little bit more. It could have just been straight. They could have straightened out the bass drum, because the snare was on 2 and 4, so that was fine. But it's how the bottom end was working with that. It could have been a bit different. I would have maybe tried that with them. But again, great song. Well done.
Yes, indeed. It would have been good to have had some textural layers in there, something in there to, like the difference between, I don't know, silk and velvet, just bits thrown in. Thank you for that, Steve Lillywhite. Phill Brown.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's great use of stereo. Again, great drum sound, good hook. So not a lot to fault. I didn't like a couple of the, you know, where the guitar seemed to suddenly stop and it all broke down. I think that could have been kind of dealt with better. But overall, a good track. Yeah, enjoyable.
Thank you very much, Phill Brown. And Steve James.
Absolutely. I agree with Steve about the groove thing. It would have been nice if it had straightened out, but I've written down here, very neat and tidy. It was very well put together, well produced. The mix was clean. Everything was there. It was nicely put together, as I said. Yeah, I've just written here groove, and I enjoyed the guitar sound. Sorry, Barry. I thought I can't remember. It reminded me of The or something. I don't know. Remember them?
Yeah.
Great.
Are they still out there performing right now?
They were great. But I thoroughly enjoyed that, and as I've said, very neat and tidy and well done. Good. A nice melody as well.
Thank you for that, Steve James. And we've gone full circle again almost, haven't we? Well, you're next, Luke. So the next artist that we have coming up next is Blindfold. They are the 10th band today. They are called Blindfold. They are from Mongolia. And their track is called Shulungdug. That's SHULUNDUG. And let's have a listen. I can't wait, actually. If I can make it work.
Шарамахтан хата Бидөөдөө цогцоно зураг бүхнийг сэмжин норогоо шараад ир 20 дугаар зууны Монгол мэрэгдээс амьд хүн байна уу шалгаад ир бүгдээрээ юу хөрхи Умане бэтмэ Умане бэтмэ Умане бэтмэ Умане бэтмэ Нэгэн удаа явж байла бамбарарам бам 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 хайр тайна явж хайла бамбарарам бам 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 Тэнгэрд хайсан гэдгийг сайн сандаа Heç би одоо юу ч хийж чадахгүй нүгцэн үрээ би санахада зүудэн орж ирж ухаан минь бадарчна сэтгэл дүүргэж болчихлоо байрдах юм бас ирэхгүй яхан нүгцэн санахада бүгдээрээ юу охорхи Нас нүгцэн үрээ би санахада зүудэн орж ирж ухаан минь бадарчна сэтгэл дүүргэж болчихлоо байрлах юм бас чирэхгүй яхан нүсээ санахадаар бүгдээрээ юу охорхи Money Batman Money Batman Money Batman Oh 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 money Batman
Oh, well, from a female perspective, guys, I love that sort of very raw chanting and that's a hubba hubba and wow. Okay, now, Luc Mornay, your go. Oh, let me tell you first a little bit about the band. Hang on. So I got so carried away with it. I could stop dancing. So they're from Mongolia, called Blindfold, and that track was Shulundug. Blindfold burst onto the scene from Mongolia in 2020. Their innovative approach has given rise to the genre they call post-art rock, characterised by a complex interplay of aggressive and melodic elements that push the boundaries of traditional rock music. They lived together for a year to make their first EP, Dom, and ate only potatoes during that time because they spent all their money on the recording. Dom was their tuxedo cat that died right after the album release. Oh, their new LP is Bolov Sun Kuchin, or Huchin, and is scheduled to be released in May 2026. They are looking at this, 5-piece band, and they look great. Very dramatic. So, Luc Mornay.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, it was really smart. The opening was great because you were like, really? In terms of sound. And suddenly they got you into the madness, which was great. It was a great sing-along song. Even if you don't understand the language, you get carried away with the song, which is great, And it was a nice contrast, nice movements. They really had control over time and the music, So I loved it. Fantastic track.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luc Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
That was spectacular. I mean, there are things in it that could be worked on, but in general, I mean, you have maybe one of the greatest hooks ever. because it's dumb and it's clever.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but it's really, really clever. And, you know, it's the way it starts, it just has you, and then it speeds up. It's great. They missed a trick. They could have gone back to that sound at the very end.
Yeah.
In a way, it was almost too clever. And sometimes the voice was not quite in the pocket of the music. So, but that's so easy to fix. It could actually even be shorter to make and just choose the really, I mean, you don't need more than that hook. That hook is universal.
Great,
that hook
isn't it?
is a smash all around the world. I tell you, that is a smash all around the world. Doesn't need lyrics. I mean, you've got the lyrics there, and it's fun. That boom, 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 boom. You know, it's just absolutely knockout for me. Knockout.
Wonderful. Well, Blindfold take that as a pretty big win from Steve Lillywhite, who rarely gives big praise about much. Unless it's deserved. Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. And the same again goes for Phill Brown. But we may discover he doesn't like it yet. Let's wait and see. Phill Brown.
Yes, the worst track today. No, I absolutely adored it. I mean, it was fantastic, wasn't it? I just had a huge smile on my face through the whole track, really. So, yeah, I mean, Steve's right. I mean, the mix could be looked at in different ways, but forget all that because it was such a great vibe. And, yeah, I loved it.
It's what we call real entertainment, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. Steve James.
I love this show. Who would have thought Mongolian rock?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, brilliant. I loved it too. Bum did a bum bum, I've written here. I thought the middle eight was genius when it went down to that. That was really clever. I really liked that. Everything about it was brilliant. Loved it. I want to hear that one again, personally. Yeah, fun. Just great. I've got no criticism, really. I mean, I thought the mix was as well, actually.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Well, I was imagining them at a rock festival, and you could hear, I could just see the crowd joining in, because there wasn't a lot of notes in it, but what notes they used were the right ones. And on the chorus, on the sing along, whoa, whoa, whoa bit, his voice blended in to the background. Really good, and so it was a nice sound overall. You could hear everything. The drum sound was good, the bass sound was terrific, I thought, and it all blended to make a very nice noise, a Mongolian noise. And as I say, I could just imagine them at a festival being really well supported and going down extremely well with the crowd singing along.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Sorry, Steve, you were already singing.
No, carry on, and I'll just say something at the end.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Right, now, what we're going to do, we've got the final artists now, and we are starting to get short on time, so we'll have to keep our comments a little bit shorter, I guess. And we have, in fact, 9 minutes left. So we have the next artist. This is the final artist for today. Ooh, where's that gone? There we go. This is Manja, and the track is called Wax and Feathers.
I wish someone told me this long ago, before I decided to up and go. The years can pass and leave you wanting more, but the days can be slow. Not in my wildest dreams, I thought that the end was so far from here. I fell and I stayed down on my knees, with the sun in my eyes and the devil in my heart. In the early morning tide, I'm still running from the night. Couldn't see the sky, so I'm looking to the ground, with the sun in my eyes.
Wax and Feathers, and that track is called, that's the name of the track, and the band are called Manja. And Manja are from Bali in Indonesia, and they formed in 2018. They are a trio from Bali, Indonesia, crafts alternative pop rock shaped by the collision of Indonesian heritage and Western influence, soundtracking the search for self. Excuse me.
Yes,
and that, thank you. Thanks all round, chaps. Anyway, so there we go. AXEAN let's have comments from you all, please. So Steve Lillywhite first.
Yeah, it reminded me of Ed Sheeran in a weird way. It was like an Ed Sheeran song done in a sort of a band way. I thought the way it ended with that guitar riff, I didn't think that suited the song. It went off to a different place. And if it's going to go to a different place, make it a really special place. It felt like maybe a riff for a bridge or something, not for like the end of your song, but still pretty good. I mean, well done, guys.
Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah.
Thank you. Phill Brown.
Yeah, I enjoyed the song. Thought the snare was too loud. And his timing at the beginning, I thought the singer seemed a bit strange with his timing, but overall very good. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a good track.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. Steve James.
I agree with Phil. The snare was too loud. I thought with nice voice. I wasn't sure about some of the lyrical content, to be honest, but it's always difficult when if it's not your first language. Bits of it were great. It was nice ideas. It didn't quite hang together for me, I'm afraid. But there's a vibe there, and it's all very professionally put together. But yeah, nice is the word I've written here. It was all right. It was all right.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Yeah, it was okay up to a point. The song really wasn't great. There could have been a little bit more melodic content in it. It tended to repeat itself a little bit too much. Drums were a little bit too loud. They said the snare was a bit loud, but I think the drums in general, I think it was mixed by the drummer. But a good sound, a decent track, but not quite up to the last 3 or 4 that we've heard.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, I felt this song was there, but I felt that the drum sound was a big drum sound, but I felt that it was a wrong choice of drums compared to the content. You know, I would have gone with something lighter to make everything else breathe better. You know, it would make more sense. Because everything was kind of floaty, and then you had these big drums playing against the song. It kind of made it a bit deep, I felt, you know, and misplaced. You know? So that's it. But the song was great. There was something there, nice voices, nice ambience. But for me, the drums killed the track.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Well, chaps, I should say, AXEAN in 2025, they had around 3,000 attendees and 169 delegates from 23 countries with 44 bands, artists across 3 stages, and I'm reading here, as you can tell, bands, artists across 3 stages at the intimate Jimbaran hub. And all stages are a mere 2 minutes walk between each of them. So it's nice and easy to catch up with many of the bands, as Steve and I, and in fact, and Barry Upton, were all there the year before last. And so after the festival, there was a songwriting camp that was attended by 25 artists and songwriters and 8 producers, resulting in 30 songs being written. So if you like what you have heard in this show, you may want to consider coming to the AXEAN Showcase Festival in Bali around September 2026. We don't have the dates yet, but we will be getting those quite soon. And as soon as we have them, I will be letting all listeners know. Anyway, so if you may want to consider coming to the AXEAN Showcase Festival, as I say, in Bali around September 2026. And you could combine a great holiday with fabulous food and friendly people and a fantastic chance as well to listen to many great up and coming artists and bands from the Asian region, because they all flock to the AXEAN Festival, which is growing and growing, by the way, guys. Keep an eye out on www.axeanfestival.com. That's AXEAN festival.com, and follow them on Instagram and everywhere else. So we are now going to get to the vote today. Who is our winner of the day? Steve Lillywhite. Let's be quick.
Okay,
please,
I
Jack.
thought the quality was really good. I thought they were all really good. I'll just give a shout out to Simile Land, which I loved, but I've got to go for Blindfold. I've got to go for Blindfold. I'm going to do the Shulundug.
Understand fully. Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. Phill Brown.
Yeah, I mean, the great choices today. Well, it's difficult to choose today. Some great tracks. A shout out to One Click Straight, BillyRom, Simile Land, and also the first one. But I'm going to go for Blindfold.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phill Brown. And Steve James.
I'm giving a shout out to Morbid Monke. I love that. But I wouldn't I? But I also, BillyRom was great. But yes, Blindfold for me made it by half a point.
Okay, there we go. Blindfold for you as well. And Barry Upton.
Well, I've got 4 7s and 3 8s, and the 3 8s are Johnny Mafia, One Click, and Blindfold. And I agree with it, the other guys. Blindfold, get it.
Okay, well, Blindfold looks like they've got it already. And thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. And Luke Mornay.
Yeah, for me it was Kiwako, the first one, Morbid Monkey, and Blindfold, obviously.
Okay, and is it Blindfold that's your choice as well? Okay, thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Now, there are several artists on here that I will be playing because they are so good. And we thank you, artists, for putting your tracks forward. Thanks also to Joe Eads and Baz Linders for doing all the A&R work and seeking out these artists. And
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, well thank you. And putting them on the show, or sending them to here to me on.
I just want to say that's actually one of the hardest ones to actually judge. Nearly everybody's got 8 or 9 for me. You know, that was tough.
Indeed, it is tough, and you know there are so many. Big shout out from me. The ones that I will definitely be playing. Loved BillyRom, loved Kiwako, Ashimine, the first one. Morbid Monkey was terrific. Simile Land, amazing. You know there are so many here. One Click Straight, but Blindfold for me as well gets it. So
6 out of 6. We all went the same way.
All went the same way. Absolutely. So we get to play out with the wonderful Blindfold and Shulundug. And we get a chance to all dance again together, chaps. Thank you all so much for joining me here on NewDawn.fm on Jukebox Judgement. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, everybody, and a wonderful weekend. Here we go. Blindfold from Mongolia.
Билеген сайысанда Hiçbir adayı çiçatque Nasıl nöktün ure bir sana kadar Zudun ordur çoğamına bağdırtına Setkil durgıcı bol çollu berdakıyım Bas yerif bu yakın düzen sana kadar Bu direyo Okur ki Nasıl nöktün ure bir sana kadar Zudun ordur çoğamına bağdırtına Setkil durgıcı bol çollu berdakıyım Bas çirik kuyakın düse sana kadar Bu dere yu okur ki Umman evet me